How people live their lives as a result of the story they believe about themselves. When you live in a dominant culture that is designed to destroy your sense of self and your belief in yourself, and you have to learn ways in which you can begin to connect with this power that you have within yourself to handle where you are. The key is to be constantly in a perpetual process of discovering the truth of who you are and fighting constantly to look for ways in which you can escape the inner conversation.
Wherever you are right now, it's just temporary, young people. You ain't gonna get here without an effort. You just gotta try. I failed more times than anybody in here. I promise you I have.
You have to understand, if you don't execute on the plan, if you don't get up in the morning when you're feeling tired, scared, if you don't execute, you're not just cheating yourself, dude. You're cheating your family, you're cheating your employees, you're cheating your team, whatever you're a part of. It's bigger than you, man.
What is faith? What is fear? See, faith and fear, they're both made up. No one knows the future. They're both your imagination, whether you have faith or fear. The only difference is fear is imagination undirected. So it's like weeds. Fear grows automatically. Faith is you decide to trust and keep moving forward, trusting life is happening for you, not to you. And if you keep going, it will open.
What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What if you're not the only one that wants what you want? What if there are thousands of other people who want what you want? You have to outwork them.
Treat yourself like you're someone responsible for helping. And that doesn't mean be good to yourself. It doesn't mean be nice to yourself. It doesn't mean give yourself an easy life. That isn't actually what you do to people if you care for them. You actually present them with something like an optimal challenge. First of all, assume that you're worth taking care of, and that it's your responsibility to do so, even if you don't like yourself very much. And lots of people don't, and they have their reasons. You have to abandon all that. Treat yourself like you're someone you're responsible for helping.
The problem that most of us have is we think that we're all alone. We think that we're the only ones going through all this stuff. I thought it. Your vision becomes very narrowed. And what happened to me was, all I did was I peeled back. And I was able to get on top of a mountaintop in my head. And when you're high on that mountain, you have a great vantage point. And I was able to look down at the world. And all of us are jacked up. Some of us hide it better than others, but we're all jacked up. And once you realize that, you gotta come out of your shell. You gotta accept who you are. You gotta accept the demons that life gave you. Whoever gave them to you, you gotta accept that. You gotta be able to look them in the mirror, look them in the eye, and say, okay, I'm gonna start fixing these things. But if you think that you're by yourself, the reality of your life becomes very, very horrible. And you're not. We are all jacked up. And once you realize that, man, it's like whatever. You don't even look at the crowd anymore. You look at your own race, you do your own race, you do your own thing, and you finally find out who you're supposed to be in this life.
Every visionary was initially called crazy before they were revered. The very nature of disrupting your industry and disrupting a very bored and exhausted and hate-filled world means there will be people who will throw rocks at you. Take the rocks your haters throw at you and build them into monuments of mastery that are a testimony to humanity.
They print money, they don't print time. They don't print opportunities. You can lose money and get it back. You can't get time back. You can't get experiences back. Average people focus on money. The greats focus on time.
And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned. get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, and do that for 20 years, what do you have?
See, when you begin to understand and acknowledge your fear, and you go forth anyhow, you go forth in a spirit and a knowing that there's a way that you can begin to handle this. There's a way out here somewhere. There's a solution for what it is that you're seeking, that you have the capacity to whatever comes up, to handle it, to face it. And rather than feeling powerless, you begin to feel powerful. But there are few people who have decided within themselves, I'm going to make it. Some people aren't waiting to be cut. Some people are moving on their own because they feel within themselves, I've got what it takes to make it.
Most of us are only 1 to 10% away from greatness. But we think we're so far away from it that we never try. And once I started going down this journey, I started realizing that, and those percents started to add up. And before I knew it, my mind started hardening, and I started passing so many different people that I thought were so far above me. And then before I knew it, man, I became a common amongst the uncommon.
Don't ever again, from this day forward, when you're learning something that's valuable, when you're making a decision of something you're going to do, when you set a goal, in that moment, you got to do something that commits you to follow through later on. Because if you act on it while you're in state, and you commit to something, and you do something that commits you later on, you'll keep the momentum. Because if you keep changing, you'll find the way.